would actually help a lot because it interferes with the signal, so that would be very helpful. Also, if you're in the audience, if you got a voter guide when you came in, there are question cards in there. If you have questions for either of the candidates, write them down. Please print if possible. Raise your hand. Amanda LeClaire here will come around and pick them up, and we'll gladly take them up to me so we can get to that in the Q&A section. And also, if you could, if at all possible, hold all applause. This is going to be a live radio broadcast, so hold your applause until after the candidate has finished. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you very, very much. And we're going to get started here in just a moment. First, we thought we would open with some remarks from Harvey Hollins III, Vice President of Government and Community Affairs here at Wayne State University.
Good afternoon. Well, thank you. I owe you lunch, Rochelle. Good afternoon and welcome to Wayne State University. On behalf of President Jay Noreen, our board, and the nearly 36,000 men and women who comprise our student body, faculty, and staff, we welcome you to this town hall, the 2009 special general election for mayor of the city of Detroit. We also want to thank the campaigns for agreeing to do this. This is GOTV week, and they're out there campaigning real hard in neighborhoods and lit dropping and doing all the stuff to get elected. So we want to thank them for doing that in this particular week. And we also want to thank the law school for providing this venue and WDET for actually doing this live. Usually I will sit down and say, enjoy the program, but this is not a program, and this is not entertainment. This is an educational forum because so many people believe in this city, and we all want to see this city be what it ought to be and what it should be. And so we want to encourage you, irrespective if you live in the city of Detroit or not, to pay attention to these elections because we all want to see leaders who we can be proud of, and we also want leaders who are part of the solution and not the problem. So please, please pay attention, take notes, tell your friends and neighbors about what you learned here today, and then empower yourselves, take your souls to the poll, and vote on May 5th. Again, we appreciate you for coming today, and we welcome the two campaigns for being here again. Thank you.
All right, and we're going to begin in just about a minute and a half here. And again, it is a live radio broadcast, so again, appreciate holding applause until the end of the event today. So thanks, everybody, for being here, and we'll get started in just a moment. Thank you, sir. Just about a minute out now.
15 seconds.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Wayne State University's Partrich Auditorium for this special Detroit Mayoral Town Hall meeting. I'm Craig Fahle of WDET, and I will serve as your moderator today. Over the next 2 hours, we'll hear from both of Detroit's mayoral candidates, Dave Bing and Ken Cockrel Jr. However, this won't be a debate. We'll hear from Mr. Bing in the first hour and from Mayor Cockrel in the second. Joining us to ask questions this afternoon is an esteemed panel of Detroit journalists. Hewell Perkins anchors the evening newscast for Fox 2 Detroit. He's won an Emmy for his work in the anchor chair. Thank you for being here, Hewell. Rochelle Riley is the Metro columnist for the Detroit Free Press. Her work often prompts Metro Detroiters to dig a little deeper to find answers to the region's problems and hang on here in Detroit. And also, Bankole Thompson is the senior editor of the Michigan Chronicle. He's also the author of 2 books, Ignoring the Underprivileged and A Matter of Black Transformation. And a reminder, the audience here in the auditorium will have a chance to ask questions as well. Throughout the event, we will collect questions written on index cards, and I will ask some of those questions later in the hour. And because this is going to be broadcast live on WDET, we're going to ask you to hold your applause until the very end. We want to make sure that everyone gets to hear the candidates' answers. And now, Dave Bing. He was drafted by the Detroit Pistons in 1966 and became the NBA's Rookie of the Year. During his summer breaks from basketball, he worked to learn about business, and in 1980, after retiring from the NBA, he founded Bing Steel. Mr. Bing is now chairman of the Bing Group, a series of manufacturing companies in Detroit. And Mr. Bing, thank you very much for being here, and you have 3 minutes for an opening statement. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. During this forum this afternoon, you'll see a clear difference between my opponent and myself. This has been a very difficult time in the lives of Detroiters, and I think it's very apparent that leadership is going to be the key differentiator between myself and my opponent. I offer a track record of job creation. My opponent does not. I offer a track record of consistent, balanced budgets. My opponent does not. I offer a proven track record of leadership. My opponent does not. I am committed to making Detroit a safe city. Most recently, from Forbes magazine, Detroit is considered to be the most crime-ridden city in America. I am committed to providing the youth of the city of Detroit the very best education possible. And I am committed to using all of my contacts and all of my resources to bring needed jobs to our city. Most recently, I've been traveling around this city, and quite frankly, I'm appalled at the way some people are living. There's squalor, there's dirtiness, and it's something that we can continue to support. And I am driven by your hunger for jobs, safe neighborhoods, and the very best education that we can provide for our children. I am driven for the change that we all want here in the city of Detroit. Change that will impact all of our lives. Change that we can believe in. Change we can trust. Change that I can and will bring to the city of Detroit. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Bing. And we will now turn to our esteemed panel for a few questions. And Hewell Perkins, you get to go first.
Oh, many of these questions are provided to us by students and faculty here at Wayne State. And I am going to begin with a question coming directly from the people who live and work here. And they have a question about city services. One of the biggest complaints of city residents is the high taxes that they're paying for what they call inferior city services. What can you do to improve the level of those services without raising taxes?
Number one, I don't think you can raise taxes at all here in the city of Detroit. Our tax burden on the citizens that are here is extremely high. I wouldn't even give that a second thought. However, as it relates to making sure city services are provided better than they have been is very, very important. And that's where I think management skills become very, very important. I don't think a lot of the employees in the city of Detroit are held responsible and understand that the citizens are the customer. And whatever you can do to satisfy your customers ought to be done. Too often, some of our employees here in the city think they are doing the customers a favor, which is not the case at all. So I would not only hold those employees responsible for what they're supposed to do, but also hold the management team accountable for making sure that they manage city service appropriately.
Rochelle Riley.
I too want to offer a question from the students and faculty, but I want to offer it as a follow to what we were just talking about. The question they asked is, it has been years since Detroit has had a balanced budget. Why is this a problem that can't seem to be fixed? I'd like you to answer that in light of the previous question about services and whether Detroit is too big to service given the